I am Lori Atkins Holliday, the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives at the Literacy Cooperative. We are so pleased to host this financial wellness session tonight and are very grateful to our wonderful partners at CHN Housing Partners for allowing them to share their expertise on financial wellness. I am going to introduce their session, and then I'm going to hand it over to them. As you have questions tonight, you are free to put them into the chat, and we will answer them either at the end of a discussion or at the end of the session, however it's appropriate. So please ask away and just put your questions in the chat. So I'm very excited to introduce Bree Cox and Morgan Shorts with CHN Housing Networks. This is their financial wellness session. I think you will be very happy to learn about all of the different ideas, techniques, and assistance that they can provide to you. So I'm going to hand it over to Bree and Morgan. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Morgan Shorts, and Bree Cox is on the line as well. If you haven't already, please enter your first and last name into the chat so that you can receive credit for attending tonight's class. We do encourage you to turn on your camera if you are comfortable. Please mute your microphone until you have something to share, or you can enter what you have to share in the chat. And then also, if you want to enter your questions in the chat, we'll leave time throughout the presentation to review them. So this is us. We're both HUD-certified housing counselors. We work for CHN Housing Partners, which is vertically integrated approach for a one-stop shop for housing service delivery organized across 6 core service areas. One being real estate development, affordable housing, home lending, utility and rental assistance, counseling and education, energy conservation and weatherization, and then community building and engagement. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and Bree and I are both HUD-approved housing counselors. Administered through CHN's Financial Mobility Center, our programming includes home buyer and pre-purchase education and one-to-one counseling, financial capabilities education and one-to-one counseling, rental and mortgage default and delinquency counseling, HECM counseling and oversight of diverse mortgage information center, post-purchase counseling, and then via VITA and EITC free tax preparation program. So what we want to share with you guys is that this is a safe space. We are here to help you. No question is a dumb question. Even if someone already asked a question in the chat and you need us to go over it again, please ask it again so that we can, explain it in a way that you best understand. This is a judgment-free zone, and also share at your comfort level. If you want to share something personally, our emails will be at the end of this presentation. And if you don't want to share it in the chat, I definitely understand that. Finances can be a personal conversation that everybody may not feel comfortable speaking out loud or with everyone knowing what's going on personally. And also remember to breathe. This is financial wellness, so we want you to feel ease throughout this presentation, and we want you to feel comfortable throughout this conversation we'll have today. So, Bree.
Thanks, Morgan. So we're going to start the conversation about money psychology and the study of our behavior with money. You can move. Thank you. How our relationship with money develops. So there are several influences that have a factor in the development of our relationship with money, those being familial influences, cultural beliefs, and significant life events. Some of the things you want to consider are your parents and caretakers' attitudes and behaviors, societal norms and values, and then the impact of major financial milestones and or setbacks, such as paying off debt, homelessness, or car repossession. All of those things take a major financial toll on one's financial wellness. So real quick, we'll have a discussion about our money autobiography. So we want you to reflect on your earliest experiences with money. We want you to consider your familiar influences and cultural beliefs and identify any significant life events related to money. Questions you want to consider when you are thinking about your money autobiography. What are your first memories of money? How did your family handle money? What cultural messages did you receive about money? And what significant financial events have impacted you? So if anyone would like to share about their money autobiography and their first memories of money, the floor is open. And I'm going to mute because my puppy's in the background barking. Okay. So just real quick, I'll share my first earliest memory of money. I had got my first job. My parents needed, or my mom, single mom, needed assistance with bills, and I had to hand over my first paycheck. So that always stuck with me for a very, very long time. And it kind of paved my way for my relationship with money from past to present. Next slide, please, Morgan. Your attitude, beliefs, and behaviors towards money directly impact your financial decisions and well-being. This includes your experiences, emotions, and the management of your money. These attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors usually form during childhood and adolescence. So when it comes to your attitude, some of the things you want to consider are: what are your goals for your money? How do you value your money? What are your biases towards money? And does having money make you feel secure, or does it give you anxiety? When it comes to beliefs, do you believe that money makes people good or bad, happy or unhappy? Do you believe more money will make things better? Are you one that believes money is important or unimportant? And do you believe you deserve to spend money, or do you not deserve to spend money? And then lastly, when it comes to your behaviors, have you ever avoided your mail, email, or phone calls when it pertains to debts? Do you indulge in overspending or underspending? Have you participated in gambling or sports betting and lottery? And does spending provide an instant gratification for you? So when you're thinking about overall attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, these are some very important questions you want to consider and kind of seek answers for to understand your relationship with money. How does hearing the word money make you feel? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel excited? Do you feel stressed? Are you feel overwhelmed? So again, you want to connect emotions to your feelings with money. It's very important that you understand that so you can understand how your relationship with money has developed and then how you can make changes in the future. And then I'm going to turn it back over to Morgan to talk about exploring money mindsets. You're on mute if you're talking.
And I was trying to unmute. I was about to start talking and then I had to unmute. So we're going to explore money mindsets today. So abundance money mindset versus scarcity money mindset. So a person with an abundance mindset can see possibilities, opportunities, although resources may or can be limited. An abundance mindset allows one to proactively manage their choices with the use of creative problem solving. So even if resources are limited, they're finding other ways to be able to stretch, money. A person with a scarcity mindset is driven by fear and fearful thinking. A person with this type of mindset will fear that there will never be enough resources or money, and it is often associated with challenges, costs, and consequences. There are 4 C's of an abundant mindset. So 1 being curiosity, being open to try new things, creativity, being resourceful and creating unique solutions. For example, if you're a single mom or a single parent in general, being creative in a way that that you only have $50 left till you get paid and next Friday, and you're trying to figure out ways to be able to save money. So you're going to the different grocery stores, you're looking at the grocery store magazines to see what's on sale and figuring out ways that Maybe even like, okay, we're gonna make spaghetti for this day, so I know that's gonna last 2-3 days. Then we're gonna make this day, and this is gonna be all under $25. I'm gonna get some cheese, I'm gonna get some bread, we're gonna have some grilled cheese sandwiches with some tomato soup. This is how you can be creative and resourceful and create a unique solution for maybe not having or having an unlimited amount of money. Confidence, having a good balance of self-acceptance and personal growth. So understanding that this may, this is where I am right now, but this is not where I'm going to be forever. I know that one, I'm going to graduate in 2 years. That's going to provide me another opportunity to have a better paying job, to seek, higher positions, things of that nature. And being confident, to even tell your friends, like, you know what, this is where I am right now, so I can't go on this trip right now. This is what I'm working towards right now. I'm trying to get in a good space financially. I can't go shopping. I can't buy those shoes right now, but one day I will be able to. And then having the courage, embracing vulnerabilities and uncertainty to overcome challenges. So, and having it also takes confidence and courage to be able to tell people that, hey, I can't do this right now. Hey, I can't come to your birthday dinner because it just doesn't fit in my budget right now. So how does money mindset shape financial behaviors? The financial behaviors of an abundance mindset is one, you pay your bills on time. Paying your bills on time is extremely important. Financial setbacks are considered temporary. So this is not something where you get down in the dumps or depressed and you're like, I'm never going to be able to pay my bills, or I'm never going to be able to get these shoes, or I'm never going to be able to get out of this situation. Somebody with an abundance mindset or shows a behavior of having little to no debt. So when they borrow, if they do have to borrow, they're paying it off. They can afford their debt. Someone with a abundance mindset is open to investing. And then they're also cognizant of saving on a consistent basis. Someone with a scarcity mindset or is showing behaviors of a scarcity mindset is someone who worries excessively about bills. We have feelings of anxiousness. We struggle to save any money. We want to make little to no investment, and then we have high debt. Now, I understand we are in a recession, and everything is inflated right now. So some of us can be in the middle of having an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset because things are just up and up. We've been getting paid the same amount, and a few months ago we were able to pay our bills on time and things were going good. Now we see that ketchup is $7, and we see that a box of cereal is $9, $7, depending on where you're at. And now it's like, okay, I was buying these same groceries just a few months ago. What's happening now? So I can definitely see right now being a space where you're divvying in between that abundance mindset and that scarcity mindset. So how do you feel? We want to know how you feel. Do you feel anxious, happy, sad, angry, curious, goofy, silly? That looks like a goofy, silly face to me. Just checking the chat. Okay, cool. So this is the time, it's time for a change. Money, values, and smart goals. I'm gonna pass it back over to Bree. Or is this me?
I think that's you, Morgan. Yep.
Okay. So money values and our relationship with money. Money values are the deeply held beliefs and attitudes that individuals have about money. So one, these values are shaped by a variety of factors, including family upbringing, cultural background, personal experiences, and societal influences. They play a crucial role in how we perceive, earn, spend, save, and invest money. One thing I can say about family upbringing is that a lot of our first interactions with money has to do with our family and how they view money and how they see money. And if we had those conversations in our household about what it means to pay bills and what it means to, earn money and what it means, if you come from maybe an urban background and maybe your parents were able, so they weren't really, earning a check bi-weekly or things of that nature. You may see them getting a lot of money at one point and then not having any money at one point. Or you could have a family member, your parents or caregivers are making money on a consistent basis, bi-weekly or monthly or weekly, and they're putting money towards this, and this, and they're saying, well, I gotta pay the rent today, or I gotta pay the car note today, I have to buy groceries with this, things of that nature. Working in teaching these financial literacy workshops, a lot of the youth I talk to, sometimes they'll say, well, my mom gets food stamps, or my mom, gets Section 8, so she's not spending a lot of money on rent, or she's not spending a lot of money on groceries because, she receives government assistance. So they know about that, but then they don't know necessarily how they're paying, how their parents are paying the bills every month. Also, your personal experiences with money. If we're a little bit younger, when we were a little bit younger, we probably didn't make the smartest decisions about, start building our relationship with money. And then societal influences such as social media and our friends and what's in right now and trends, that also affects how we, build or maintain a relationship with money. So some common money values are security. One, prioritizing safety and stability in financial matters. Freedom, valuing the ability to make choices and pursue opportunities without financial constraints. Power, seeing money as a means to influence and control one's environment. Generosity, using money to help others and support charitable causes. Status, viewing money as a way to achieve social recognition and respect. Happiness, believing that money can buy experiences or items that bring joy and satisfaction. Comfort, prioritizing a lifestyle that is pleasant and free from financial stress. Independence, valuing the ability to support oneself without relying on others. So I want you guys to just really think about which out of this list of common money values, which ones resonate with you. Think about 2 or 3 that resonate with you. You don't have to share them in the chat if you don't want to, but if you do feel led, share them in the chat. What 2 to 3 money values that resonate with you. So something to think about. What are your top 3 money values and how would you rank them? And this is just a little bit more in-depth list right here. So we have security, freedom, power, generosity, status, happiness, comfort, independence, achievement, community, integrity, family, adventure, control, responsibility, love, success, simplicity, health, and knowledge. And these are just a few reflection questions that you can think of. Why did you choose these specific values? How do these values influence your financial decisions? Can you think of a recent financial decision you made that was influenced by one of these values? How do you think these values were formed? Was it formed from family influence, personal experiences, cultural background? And then do you see any potential conflicts between your values? If so, how might they affect your financial behavior? Through this, this is helping you to establish your why in a sense. So why do I purchase this? Why do I pay my bills on time? Do I pay my bills on time because I'm a woman or a man of integrity? Because I don't want to feel like I'm owing somebody? Because I want to have the status of someone that pays their bills on time? On Credit Karma, it says 100% payment history. That's the status that you want. When you think about independence, do you not want to ask anybody for money? Do you not want to borrow any money from anybody? Do you want to have that power and that freedom to do as you please with your money? These are things you want to think of, because this is your why as to why you spend money the way you do, or you have the relationship with money that you do have. And then SMART goals. These are setting goals based on money value. So specific is the S in SMART goals. Measurable is the M. Attainable is A. R is relevant, and T is time bound. So specific, what exactly are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve home ownership? Are you trying to achieve savings for a vacation that you're going on in the fall? Are you trying to achieve getting out of debt? What is the specific goal that you're trying to achieve? Then measurable. How will you know you've achieved it? Will you know that you've achieved it when you reach this certain amount of money that you were supposed to have saved? Will you know when you achieved it? Will it be based on paying off the debt? There's a zero balance. This is how you're able to track how far or close you are to completing this goal. Attainable. Is it genuinely possible to achieve it? Can you save $25 a month towards this? Can you budget $25 out of your pay that you're currently paying and pay all your bills on time, and to go towards this, trip? Relevant. Does it contribute to your agency's revenue or growth? And I guess for a personal matter, does it contribute to your financial wellness for you to go on this trip or for you to pay down this debt? And then time bound. When do you want to achieve this by? If you're trying to go out of the country in the fall or in September, then you got about 2 months, 2.5 months to be able to save money. So this is how you're able to track how you're going to reach the goal, how long it's going to take, when you'll complete the goal by, and if it's attainable for you to be able to achieve this goal. So here's the SMART goal example. I will save $400 by August 10th, so I do not have to purchase my children's school uniforms and supplies using a credit card. So specific, what will I achieve? I will purchase my children's school uniforms and supplies without using a credit card. Who will benefit from this goal? I will, because then I won't have to pay on it monthly, paying someone back. And then my kids, school uniforms or supplies will be taken care of without me owing anyone. Measurable. How much? I'm saving $400. For my kids' uniforms, how will I know when it's done? I would have bought the $400 worth of school uniforms and supplies. Achievable. Is this goal something that I can actually reach? Do I have the tools and support I need to accomplish this? Am I setting aside a certain amount of money until August 10th, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, to be able to purchase these children's school uniforms and supplies without using my credit card? And then, is this something that I really want? Is now the right time to do this? Why is this goal important? This goal is important because I don't want to go into any more debt. And when will I reach this goal? I will reach this goal by August 10th. And is this time frame reasonable? I believe it is. You can create one SMART goal at a time, or one for each area of your life: physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, holistically. For example, a SMART goal focus on financial goals, another focus on career goals. Keep going. Once you reach your goal, set a new one, and then just keep practicing. You build a habit by continuing to practice and just doing it over and over and over and over and over again. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. So once you complete one goal, do it again, and then do it 21 times if you can. Money management, income and spending tracking. I'm going to pass it on to Bree.
So along with the SMART goals model that Morgan provided you guys with, we want to provide you with more tools as you venture into your journey of changing your relationship with money. So you can go to the next slide. So when we talk about changing your relationship with money, it is a lifestyle change and a mindset change. And we want you guys to get comfortable talking about money. So talk about money at home, with your family, with your spouse. Talk about money with friends, other family members. Talk about it in the car, in the grocery store. Talk about it as much as you can. Get as comfortable as you can with it. Because as Morgan said earlier, it is very vulnerable for us to talk about something so personal as our finances. So budgets and spending plans. So there is a slight difference in these two financial tools. So a budget depicts how you will spend your money. Okay, it is very restrictive. It typically for planning monthly or per pay, and usually done in cluster categories, meaning food, house activities. A spending plan, on the other hand, is how you actually spent your money. It is a little bit more flexible. It typically is used to review spending for the month and is very detailed categories and subcategories. So a spending plan is a lot more extensive, whereas a budget, like I said, is restrictive, and is how you should adhere your money. So if you have $50 budget for going out to eat for that month, you should not go over that $50 per your budget. Okay. If you do your spending plan and you spent $60, you know that you went over your budget. So even though your budget says 50, your spending plan may say something else because it actually reflects how you spent your money. Next slide, please. Thank you, Morgan. When you are budgeting, there is a good rule to use. It is called the 50-30-20 rule. It is a budgeting technique that divides your take-home income into 3 categories by percentages. It is a simple way to track your spending, and the breakdown is as follows. So 50% of your income should go to your needs. Those are rent or mortgage, car payments, utilities, groceries, things that you can't live without. And then you've got 30% to your wants. Those are things that you enjoy having, like streaming services. We enjoy going shopping, maybe taking a vacation every now and then. And then you have 20% of your income going to savings or debt. And that would be an emergency fund, a retirement fund, towards your children's education or towards credit card payments. So this is a really good technique to incorporate into your budgeting if you have trouble allocating where your money should go. So let's plan it out. So what you need for a budget, you'll need your monthly net income from all your income sources. So that would be if you work a full-time job, if you work a part-time job, if you're self-employed, if you receive any sort of government benefits, child support payments. You want to include all of your income sources. And then you'll need an income tracking tool. So you can use Excel, you can use Mint, which is an app. And then we also have blank spending trackers and budgets if you guys are interested in that as well. And then the steps to create a budget. So the first step is to determine where your money comes from and anticipate amounts for each. So again, full-time or part-time jobs, included seasonal jobs as well. So those are jobs like if you work at the baseball field or if you work at the Rocket Mortgage, I was gonna say the Q. Rocket Mortgage, those would be like seasonal jobs. Government benefits, child support. And then the second step is to determine your expenses. So you want to use a spending tracker tool. You want to determine what's due now. And then you want to keep a list of all your monthly expenses. So you can do that with bank statements, receipts. And then number 3, you want to set realistic allocations. So focus on making on-time payments and making at least the minimum, but always try for more. And then number 4 is assess your needs versus your wants. Okay. So needs versus wants. So before you make your next purchase, you want to think, do I need this or do I want this? And then everyone's wants and needs are different. Okay. So we'll have a little activity. Next slide, Morgan. So streaming services. For some people, this may be considered a want. For some people, may be considered a need. So in your personal household, if you would like to share in the chat whether you consider streaming services a want or a need. All right, next slide, Morgan. Dining out, a want or a need. So for someone that may work, let's say a 12-hour shift, this may be a want for you or a need for you because you don't have the time throughout your day to make dinner after you've gotten home from a 9 a.m. to a 9 p.m. shift. So your wants and needs may differ from someone like me who is usually remote working. So I have the ability to cook at home. So dining out for me would be a want, not a need. And I think there's one more, Morgan. Oh, paper towels. I struggle with this one. So realistically, I could use like a cloth paper towel. I'm sorry, a cloth towel, something that's washable. But in my household, I feel like paper towels are a need. They're very much accessible to me. I'm sorry, that's my guilty pleasure. So paper towels is a need for me, but for others, it may be a want. And you can, like Morgan said, with your abundance mindset, use creative solutions to come up with other ways to substitute that expensive paper towels, if need be. So while we did this exercise, you may have found yourself saying, those needs versus wants may depend on the day. It may depend on what else is going on in your life, or it may also depend on what money looks like. So with that, our needs and our wants are constantly ever changing. So there are going to be times where you may need to reassess. Okay, is this something I really need right now, or is this something I really want, and I can hold off until a later date to get that. Things to remember when you're assessing your wants versus needs. Again, your wants and needs are different for everyone. Wants and needs do change over time. There is no wrong or right answer. So don't feel guilty if your needs and wants may not align with someone else's, and even maybe even your spouse's, because again, everyone has different needs versus wants. It's about being able to adjust how you manage your money to meet to meet wants and needs. And sometimes we need to sacrifice wants in order to meet needs, but I want to emphasize the fact that those can be temporary situations. So again, with your abundance of mindset, it may be a temporary setback, but in the future, I may be able to obtain that again. So when it comes to making those sacrifices for your wants in order to meet your needs, most of the time it's not a long-term thing. If it depends, that's okay. And even us, and Morgan, I'm sure she can attest to this as well. There's been times we wanted things and we're like, we just can't do it. And our needs come first. So we had to put on the back burner and then pick it up at another later date. So spending your spending plan, I love doing spending plans. So spending plans equal your reality check. So your spending plan tells your money story one category at a time. So some of the things that are on a common spending plan would be housing expenses, personal expenses, transportation, entertainment, food, medical insurance, debts, childcare, education, gifts, and then other. So there may be other things that you do with your money. You may help other people. You may want to donate and contribute that money in different ways. So there are plenty of other ways that people use their money. So you want to include all of that on a spending plan, and then add even more detail if you need to. Add as much detail as you need to for you to understand your money story in each of those categories. Next slide, Morgan. So creating a spending plan. One, again, you need to determine your monthly income, determine how much you spend in each section of the spending plan every month. So right there, you can kind of see the commonalities in doing a spending plan and a budget. They're both based on your monthly income and how much money is being spent in certain categories. If you are a person that shops in bulk or you have irregular expenses, you want to annualize it. If you have occasional expenses like landscaping, car maintenance, hobbies, annualize it. So annualizing it means if I have a payment of $300 twice a year, I want to add that total up and divide by 12. So I would add 300 and 300, which is 600, and divide it by 12 to get a monthly average of how much money I will spend each month on that particular expense. You want to remember every dollar counts in your spending plan. So even if it's less than $10, even if it's less than $5, you want to put it on your spending plan. You want to account for as much of your money as possible. And then number 4, bank statements are very useful when you complete your spending plan, especially if you're a person that uses a debit card a lot. So having your bank statements present to review it as you complete your spending plan will be very helpful in getting accurate numbers and figures, and then make sure you don't miss anything. So I always encourage people to go through your spending plan and either highlight or circle. And as you go through it, you can categorize. Number one, this is food. Number two, this was for the house. Number three, this was for the kids. So you can kind of categorize it, and it's easier for you to read and understand it when you're transferring it over to your spending plan. So this is just a look at a spending plan that we use here at CHN. So just looking at the personal expenses section, you would input information for barbershop and beauty shop, how much money is spent there. If you spend any money in clothing, monthly savings, toiletries. So any of these categories that is pertains to you and your household, you want to make sure you complete it in totality. What do you spend in these areas on a monthly basis is one of the questions you want to ask yourself. If you're not sure, you want to do the math. And then one of the best ways to get the most accurate information is to be honest with yourself. It's the only way your spending plan is going to work. And it's also the only way you're going to understand your relationship with money. Okay. So why a spending plan? Again, it tells your money story, where your money is going. And it's more realistic and provides you with more accurate numbers. Am I really spending on wants versus needs? Where can I cut back? Where can I cut back over time? And then what resources can help offset some of these costs? And now I'm sure you guys are asking, like, what about the budget, right? So you want to do both. So remember, better money management requires a change in lifestyle and mindset. Implement these new practices to better understand where you can improve your relationship with money. I always encourage my clients that I work with that if they create a budget, put it in a place that you're going to look every day. A refrigerator, a mirror, even in your car. Like, you want to be able to visually see it as a reminder of how much money you should be spending. Also, you can do the same with the spending plans. You can kind of have those side by side, but it is highly recommended that you use both of those tools. And I'm going to pass it over to Morgan. She's going to talk about credit.
So let's talk about credit. It's my screen. So who is familiar with annualcreditreport.com? With annualcreditreport.com, you can retrieve your free credit report. It will not give you a credit score, but you can retrieve your free credit report to see what is on your actual credit profile, whether it be child support, collections, current credit cards you have open, credit cards that have been closed, any current credit lines that you have open pertaining to a personal loan, a car note, student loans, things of that nature. So credit score basics. Good credit scores are 700 plus. That means you are likely to pay the debt. You are low risk and qualify for low interest rate. Low credit scores, which are 620 and lower, mean the lender isn't sure you will pay the debt, and you are a higher risk and will pay a higher interest rate. In layman's terms, good credit scores means that you are trustworthy. Say, we can trust that you're going to pay the money back because you've done that in the past. Up until this point, you paid the money back. Low credit scores means we don't know if we can really trust you because you've had a hard time paying things back. Sometimes you pay it back, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you wait 30 to 60 to 90 days to pay it back, and then we got to close the account because we've been putting our trust in you for this long and you've been playing us at this point. So measuring credit. One, payment history. Payment history is the highest way that your credit is measured. It's the most important thing that you need to do as someone that is considered trustworthy regarding your payment history, regarding measuring your credit. So paying your bills on time, you see if you check your Credit Karma, those scores are not 100% accurate, but this gives you an idea of how often you pay your bills on time. Sometimes it'll say 100% payment history, so you've never been late on the payment. Sometimes it can say 91% of the time you make on time payments. and that means 91% of the time you make on time payments, and 9% of the time you may or may not pay. They're still likely to, still offer you some credit, but they're looking at you with a side eye. Now, balances on accounts is 30%. That means that's also called your credit utilization. So how much of the money that you have borrowed from this company or this bank or this business, for example, if you have a Target card, they've given you $1,000 and you max it out the $1,000 every time. That's being accounted for within of 30% of your credit score is based on that. If you spend $200 and you pay it off, that means you can afford your debt. Then that means your credit utilization is low, which is meaning your credit score is going to be a little bit higher. Now, credit history. How long have you had these lines of credit? How long have you been utilizing your credit? Have you been utilizing it? If you're, 20, 25 years old, you've been only using it for 2 to 5 years, or maybe even more if your parents have used your credit to open up utility bills or, things of that nature, or putting a cell phone in your name, rent a center, things like that. Those are things you want to take into consideration. And then types, mix of accounts, you want to have different types or mixes of accounts. This accounts for 10% of your credit score. And that means you can have a personal loan, a revolving credit line, where, which is pretty much a credit card. You're afforded this limit, and then you pay it down, and every time you pay it down, you go back to that limit, and then you pay it down, you could use it again, and then you pay it down, and then it goes back to the limit that they originally offered you. And then inquiries. So how often are you applying for credit, or how often are you applying to different stores? Are you being adamant about, I'm in a rut, so I'm going to this place, trying to get some credit? Or are you, every now and again, you like, hey, I do shop here a lot. I'm trying to fix my house, so I'm gonna go to Home Depot and, start an account with them. Things like that. And getting cards that you will utilize and use monthly, because one thing that happens when we open up credit cards for these stores, if we're not shopping there monthly, then we're not using the card, then there's really no point to having one. It's really good to get a card, like a bank card, credit card, because then you can use it anywhere and then you just pay it down. So credit utilization, we talked about this a little bit already, but a person's credit utilization refers to how much of your available credit you're using and how you're using it. So a high ratio could hurt your credit score, while a low ratio could increase your credit score. 30% utilization rule. Generally speaking, we only want to see 30% of that credit limit used every month. Now, if you could pay it down to the 30, if you go over that credit limit, if you go to 50% or 75% or 100%, if you pay it down to that 30%, you should be fine. But if it's, still high like that, going over Rolling in the month, that's going to add interest, which is going to add, that's going to, start racking up more in your payments and making it more expensive. So the credit impact, how does credit impact other areas of our lives? A good credit profile is you can receive lower rates on mortgage loan, lower rates on your auto loan, lower insurance rates, and lower interest rates on your credit cards. You are more likely to be renting an apartment and have more housing options. You'll have a lower utility deposit, and then you get better options for cell phones, for example, no deposits or prepayments. Someone with a bad credit profile or doesn't have any credit and has not utilized their credit, you'll have higher rates on mortgage loans, auto loans, insurance premiums, and credit cards, interest rates. You may not be the top candidate when putting in a rental application. It may impact your job applications. A prospective employer can check your credit, but they must notify you and get your written permission if they intend on doing so. And then you may have to pay higher utility deposits. So making credit work for you. You want to have a permanent change of mindset. Always be honest about needs versus wants, even as they change over time. Two, you want to avoid impulsive buying and assess if you will be able to pay back in a reasonable amount of time. You want to purchase things that you, in your budget, that you can afford. You don't want to purchase things. That's the reason for utilizing credit. I know that we've been kind of tricked into thinking that credit is being used for buying things that you can't afford. No, credit is supposed to be used for things that you can't afford, but you want to pay over. Find credit products that reward you for good payment history. For example, if you're looking at credit cards and you're shopping around for credit cards, if you travel a lot, getting airline miles or points and other no-cost rewards that can help you, once you spend, you paying it off, but it's also being used for a better purpose in instilling or in impacting positively your financial wellness. And then pay off your bill before the end of each statement period, or at least make more than a minimum payment. And always, always, always pay on time, because like I said before, that's 35% of your credit score. It depends on your payment history and how often you pay on time. And you want to consistently monitor your credit utilization. Use the 30% rule. If you go over that 30%, make sure you pay it down to at least the 30%, at the most the 30% each month. So strategies for rebuilding credit. Strategy for improving your score and rebuilding credit is 1, paying your bills on time every time. After you have one missed payment, it takes 12 months for you to pay that bill on time to retrieve the points back that you lost from having that missed payment. A missed payment is 30 days late. A missed payment is not 5 days late or 7 days late, it's 30 days late. So you want to make sure that you have either your bills coming out auto pay, or you want to make sure you have a bill calendar where you can look at it every day and say, oh, this bill is coming out today, this bill is coming out this Friday, things like that, so you can just stay on it. You don't want to get too close to your credit limit. Don't apply for too much credit in a short time, because then it looks like, oh, this person is antsy, they need some money, they're going through a crisis. And then if you can't qualify for a regular credit card, try a secure card. A secure card is basically when you use your own money and you borrow against your own money. So they put let's say, I think the secure card starts at $300. You'll get the you'll put $300 on it, and then you'll be borrowing against it. Once they see that, okay, 3 months, they're paying themselves back. Okay, cool. We'll add $200. That's $500. So now it's still secure, but they added some money to your limit. And then eventually they'll probably give you the $300 back, and then they'll give you a full credit card. So once you make those payments, consistent payments on time, and they're seeing like, okay, I can trust you a little bit. I can trust you with your money. Now let me see if I can trust you with our money. Keep it up. The longer you have credit and pay on time, the better. And then you want to check your credit reports regularly and fix errors right away. By filing a dispute with the credit reporting company if you do see errors. You want to verify derogatory accounts and develop a plan to pay them off. You can either send a verification letter to the credit report agency and their collection agency, depending on the derogatory item, which the verification letter will basically say, hey, show me when I opened this debt with you, how my signature, show me this information. Self-reporting, you can self-report your utilities, your insurance, your cell phone, your rental history, your rent. If you have a good payment history, you want to self-report. I know that Experian does this. I know that Rental Karma does this. So if your landlord or your apartment complex building or administrative office, they will accept it. I will ask to see if they could report your rental history if you have a good record of paying your rent on time. And the other things, utilities, insurance, and cell phone. Then a secure credit card. We talked about this just the other slide, but reestablish good payment history and pay more than a minimum payment when possible. And then also you have the option to become an authorized user. An authorized user is basically someone in your family or a close friend has good credit. They have a credit limit of $10,000. They paid that bill on time for the past 10 years. And, you're looking to improve your credit. and just become, better. So they put you as an authorized user. Sometimes they allow you to have a card to be able to use it. Sometimes they just allow you to reap the benefits of them paying their bills on time. This is only recommended to do this with someone who you trust and they pay their bills. It's a mutual agreement to hold each other accountable and maintain good credit for the both of you. Banking and saving real quick. Bree is going to take this on.
So we want to talk a little bit about safe ways to keep your money secure. Excuse me. So why you should get banked and why it's important. Your money is safe and insured. Your money is protected against error and fraud. You can set up direct deposit, get your money faster, avoid check cashing fees. Most importantly, you can build for savings, both long-term and short-term. You can gain access to credit as well as other products from the bank. You have proof of purchase and you have access to online banking. So with online banking, you can transfer money to friends and family. You can track your money. You can set up alerts. And you can also pay bills wherever you are. I don't think it's listed, but auto payments. That's another you can get banked. You can set up for automatic payments. Next slide, Morgan. Have you ever tried the saving strategy? So especially when you're starting out, sometimes it can be very overwhelming knowing where to start. So establishing a savings account that is not easily accessible would be our number one recommendation. So it should not be linked to any other accounts, such as a debit card or money sharing apps such as Zelle, Cash App, or Venmo. Transactions only allowed in person, meaning you have to physically go into the bank to take out the cash, and then try opening a savings account in another neighborhood or another city. A lot of times we're deterred from traveling very far. So if your bank is 30 to 45 minutes from your home, it's highly unlikely you're going to want to go to the bank to withdraw $100, and then you're driving over an hour and a half for that, unless it's a real emergency. So you can focus on saving versus not spending. Save what remains or pay yourself first. A little at a time, but be consistent. So I always tell folks, if you could only save $25 a pay, save $25 a pay, but be consistent. Save it every single pay. Like Morgan said, 21 days to save a habit, build a habit, save that money 21 times, and then save it 21 more times. And just keep going until you've met your savings goal. And then again, direct deposit, out of sight, out of mind. Have that money sent directly from your employer to a bank account, so you don't have to even worry about that. Do you ever say to yourself that you wish you could save more? I know there are times when I have. I'm sure Morgan has as well. Next slide. I will never be financially free. That's probably something that you've said to yourself before. That may be one of those mindset things as well, where you can hover between abundance and that scarcity mindset, depending, again, what is going on in your life at that moment. And then it's never enough. Like Morgan said, things are getting sky high and it does not seem like it's ever enough. We would encourage you to rely on those 4 C's of the abundance mindset to kind of make your way through that journey of having that feeling of it's never enough. Here we'll take a quick pause. If there's anything anyone would like to share, take a breather. Remember, talking about money can be very stressful and overwhelming. So we just want you guys to breathe. I saw you take a breath in, Morgan. Let it go. All right, we can move on. Morgan, was this you or me? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Solution-driven approaches to dealing with money.
I could do it, don't matter.
Okay.
So solution-driven approaches to dealing with money. The solution is clear once you stop focusing on the problem. So you want to keep these tips in mind. A lifestyle change equals a mindset change. You want to work on shifting to an abundance mindset from a scarcity mindset. So you want to cut back or reassess wants versus needs and sacrifice the wants just for a little while. So for one of my money rules I try to live by is, if I cannot afford to purchase it 3 times, like if the amount of the whatever it is not 3 times the amount in my bank account, and I still have bills to pay, then I cannot afford it. That's something I just consistently tell myself. Like, if there's a purse I want and it's $1,500, and if I don't have $4,500 in my bank account, then I cannot afford to buy it. You want to be resourceful. This is also another behavior to have, where you're being creative, or the 4 C's of an abundance mindset. To be resourceful. So utilizing free resources that are going around, like a food pantry, or maybe even a farmer's market, or thrift stores, or crisis support from local organizations like CHN, or picking up a part-time gig, working where you want or when you want, type of jobs like Instacart or Amazon or DoorDash, things like that. So how do you feel? Do you feel anxious, happy, sad? You can share that in the chat. Please let us know. Are you angry? Are you curious? Are you surprised? Are you feeling goofy, silly? I know we're about an hour into this right now, so let us know how you feel in the chat. Any questions? All right. You can ask them in the chat if you like, but I think we're gonna move forward. So, recap. What information today was most valuable to you? If you could answer any of these 4 questions in the chat, we will greatly appreciate it. Did you learn anything new today? Is there anything you will do differently going forward? And then what is something you learned today that you think will benefit a client? So we're gonna give you about 4 to 5 minutes, actually 2 to 3 minutes, to answer these questions in the chat, if you feel so moved. I like the 4 C's approach too as well. All right. So we'll be keeping this conversation going. Resources and links will be shared next week via email. If you are a local organization looking to partner on financial capabilities group education and would like us to offer classes to your clients, please contact us. We have financial capabilities, train the trainer, financial wellness, and a credit deep dive if you think that your clients will benefit from the education that you guys got a piece of or a part of today. And this is a reminder to take care of you. I know a lot of the time when we are working, our why for going forward is because we want to provide the best, life for our kids, for our families. We are just, hanging on by a thread. We're working these odd hours just to be able to provide, to put a roof over our heads, and we don't really get to reap the benefits of our hard work. So this is a reminder to take care of you, to, start jotting down the goals that you want to accomplish, and start trying to build and work towards those goals. Personal goals, whether it be Financial wellness doesn't just mean, okay, I'm just taking care of myself and paying my bills on time. It also means adding to your joy and your wellness. What makes you happy? Does shopping make you happy? Does traveling make you happy? Have you ever even been out of Ohio? These are things you want to take into consideration because this will add to your quality of life. And if you're adding to your quality of life, you're also adding to your financial wellness. It's going to make you thrive more and reach for higher goals and possibly even help you think about the things that you want to do that could possibly enhance your life financially.
Mhm.
And then there are 8 types of self-care. Bree, was this?
Yeah, I'll do this one.
Okay.
So yeah, 8 types of self-care. So you've got your social, nurturing relationships, spending quality time with those you love, setting boundaries and clear communications with others. Financial, budgeting and financial planning. We talked about that today. Debt management and identifying your values. We also talked about that today. Physical, you want to exercise, you want to move. If you work from home, get up, walk around, go outside, sit on a porch. Make sure you take your breaks from work like you're warranted. Clear your mind. Adequate. I can't talk today. Adequate rest and sleep. If you can't get 8 hours, get 6. If you can't get 6, get as much as you can. Take naps throughout the day when you can. And nutritious eating, fruits, vegetables, like Maria said, utilize those free resources, pantries, urban farms, emotional. So have emotional awareness, be in connection with how you feel, and don't be afraid to tell others like, hey, I'm just not feeling that today. Maybe another day. And that's also setting those boundaries for yourself as well. Morgan and I are real big on journaling, writing. So write things out, get your feelings out on paper, get out how you feel, and then seek support from those that you trust and that you love. Mental, you want to be mindful and meditate, relaxation techniques, intellectual stimulation, reading, podcasts that make you think. So there are lots of things on YouTube that you guys can look up. Spiritual, mindful practices, cultivate gratitude, engage in meaningful activities. Intellectual, be a lifelong learner. You're never too old to learn new things. For all of those that participated today, you're a lifelong learner. You're here to learn something new. Stimulate different conversations. So start talking about money like we discussed earlier. Stimulate those conversations. Have those moments with those people that you love. And then creative expression. Do you write poetry? Do you draw? Do you like to take photos? Whatever you do creatively, spend time doing that with yourself. And then lastly, environmental, declutter and organize. So maybe you did some spring cleaning this year where you got rid of things that no longer serve the purpose. Nature connection, get outside. Like the kids say, go touch some grass, take your shoes off, bare feet to the ground. And then healthy environments, create a safe and healthy space for you, whether it's at home, whether it's at work. You deserve that. Self-care strategies, getting regular exercise, eat healthy, have regular meals, stay hydrated. So don't skip breakfast, don't skip lunch. You need those meals. Don't skimp yourself on dinner. Make sure you're fulfilled when you lay down at night. Make sleep a priority. Like I said, get those 8 to 6 hours of sleep. Take those naps if you can. Try relaxing activity. Set goals and priorities for yourself. Practice gratitude and mindfulness. Focus on positivity. I know a lot of things happen and we go for worst case scenario, things like that, but there's always a positive in every situation. So again, changing that mindset from scarcity to abundance, having abundance mindset, this is only temporary. There's something positive in this certain situation. And then again, stay connected with your family, with your friends. If you have coworkers that you hang out with, people in the community, if you're part of some sort of group, a book club, stay connected with folks. That's a really good self-care strategy and keeps you nice and social. And this is Tanya Santos. This is the Financial Capabilities Manager's information. She can be contacted again if you are interested in any of our financial wellness courses. She can set that up for you.
We really do appreciate you guys logging on today and joining us for this presentation. I know that it was a lot of information, but I hope that you can take something away from this class and that there's something that you would apply anew. It is summertime, so I know that a lot of people are just enjoying the summer and just trying to, relax and be stress-free. And it's super hot outside if you're in the Cleveland area. So just trying to take in something new, but just if this, follows you, let it simmer in and let some of that sweat. When you're sweating, let all of that bad stuff out, and then all the new stuff come in that you learned today, and then you could just start building that habit and working towards those goals. If you have any questions, like Bree said, please reach out to our Financial Capabilities Manager. And like we said before, the resources and any links that we have available at our disposal to you will be sent out next week.